is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/bgunlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today Brad and I are going to be doing our, I was going to say top 10, our ranking over the Marvel Champions heroes, which was very close to being a top 10 because there's 9. That we are one away. Doctor Strange, at the time of this recording, is not out yet.
Unless you're an international person. And
then then you get everything. Woo! We don't have to pay extra shipping though. Haha! So this is going to be kind of our ranking over each of the heroes and how, pretty much how much we like them. So I thought a ranking list would be kind of fun to do, especially because they're going to be, you know, pushing these out almost on a regular basis. So Brad, what was your criteria?
I looked at how each one of them played solo, just with the one hero.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
How much fun they were. I put them in order of how much fun.
Okay.
I had like some of them. Yeah. So when we do our scoring of them, some of them are going to have higher scores, but maybe lower down the list because they weren't as fun.
Sure.
For me to play,
right?
So,
right.
I'm just by my play style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really. It's just how fun they were.
Right. Yeah. I pretty much did the same thing. I exclusively solo. Like I took each hero and I fought them against Wrecking Crew, which I should. Just to give them all that clean slate, like how they would do against 4 individuals, because I thought that would give me the most variety. And yeah, like we've ranked them 9 to 1, and then also on a scale of 1 to 10 individually. So, funny enough, like my score for them increases. Like so, from 9, that's gonna be my lowest score. That's just how it ended up working out for me.
Mine will be close to that.
But here's the thing, like. Even though they're all good,
oh yeah,
like there was not one where I was like, "Well, this is shit." And through like I was like, it was pretty like hard to actually rank these.
It was. That's something else I was going to bring up. Is like we've ranked these. So like my number 9 is our lowest ranked one, or my lowest ranked one. But I still really enjoy playing that one.
Right.
Like this is one of my top games. Like when we did our top 100 this year, it was pretty high.
Yeah.
As a first year entry, it'll be that much higher probably this year.
Right.
One thing I can guarantee you is we're probably going to have 9 crossover.
Right. It's like I have someone else. Wait, you don't have Venom? It's like, what? I think, though, what'll be interesting to see is if we're going to have same number crossover.
Yeah, it'll be. Play style is going to come into that because my number 1 is going to be one that's not you generally thought of as being one of the...
Right. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. With number 9, my least favorite one to play, and it's funny because when I initially played this hero, I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun, but doing it again, it was actually kind of frustrating. My number 9 is Black Panther. He is so interesting in so many different ways, but there's one key thing that bugged me about him is he... Unlike a lot of the other heroes where they have upgrades that come out and you can pretty much just activate them really to do whatever, he needs one specific card to be able to activate all of them.
And there's like 6 copies of it in the deck, I believe.
Wakanda Forever. Yeah, it's Wakanda Forever. I don't even think there's that many. There might be 6.
I think there's 6.
But in a deck of like 50, like that's, and he doesn't have a whole lot of card generation. Oh, and actually that's a good point. I played these heroes with their starting deck.
Yes.
Like their deck list. So like if you're saying, oh well, you need to play him with aggression because of whatever, I didn't do that. I wanted to go just pre-build deck just to give them all their fair shake. But yeah, so he doesn't have a whole lot of like card generation to be able to cipher, like to cipher out the Wakanda Forever. So you get his ability cards out. He has a special ability that lets you just look for one, but then it's just there. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm getting my ass kicked. I really would like to attack these guys, but man, that's a real shame. I can't seem to draw that fucking card.
That is my biggest drawback to this character. One of my favorite things to do with these kind of games is I like to create a board presence. I like to be able to get stuff out. So he has, with all the upgrades, all that stuff, you would think it would normally fit perfectly in that stuff.
Right.
But I hate his alter ego ability, although how it lets you search for an upgrade off the bat. But that's it. You're done.
Yeah, it's a setup, right?
It's a setup ability.
Yeah, perfect. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't fucking
He has
that up.
no ability the rest of the game on his alter ego, and I'm just like... The same thing, I hated that card. There was a card Netrunner, a runner, that you started the card with 9 cards in your hand instead of 5, and that was it. No abilities the rest of the game. So I'm like,
because it's like you would think that the with that initial like advantage, like 9 cards or your alter, it's like, oh, that's great. But the problem is okay, great, I have this, but man, my other 6 cards. Don't let me activate it, and because you have to use other cards in your hand to be able to pay for certain cards, the situation might call for you to not be able to like use it, because it's like, well, I don't want to waste my Wakanda Forever on my one upgrade that I got because I'm not drawing any other upgrades. He is by far, and he's the one I actually did my run through and review with. He is the only one I actually lost to Wrecking Crew with because of that very reason. Now, even though I just trashed all over him, he's a 6 out of 10. Because if you do get that perfect hand, like a lot of ifs, and if you do get a lot of upgrades out, he's disgusting. Like, he can go off if you do have like 4 or 5 upgrades out and then pop it, then it's just like, it goes down a chain.
Well, and if you have, there's that one card I cannot remember. There's going to be a lot of these cards, I'm not going to remember the names too, but there's that one card that lets you bring 3 cards from your discard pile back into your deck.
Yeah.
So, like, once you get your board set up, if you play that, you can put 3 Wakanda Forevers right there, and then when you draw it, you can just slam out. And you can have super big power turns.
Yeah, the Wakanda Forevers are like, I think they're 1 cost.
But it's like, you can have some really big power turns, but
it's the setup.
Yeah.
Like, and for my play style, I don't like to set up and then be like, okay, now everything's, because too many things can go wrong in the midst of that.
Well, and I like to have an alter ego ability. Because I'm not one that'll set in hero the whole time. I do a lot, but really about 50-50 shot with it. Which is why, as we get into this list, you'll see why some of them that are really cool in their hero form I don't have as highly ranked because I don't like their alter ego.
You don't like their alter ego?
So it's kind of a...
Gotcha.
But yeah,
let's see.
I agree with you.
Let's see what other notes I have on him. Oh yeah, I actually have no alter ego ability written down. That was... Order of upgrade cards. Yeah, that was also a weird thing. Was you have to put them in order. Which, like I said, a lot of these cards are you just set a bunch in front of you and then they pop off in some way. His you do have to put in a specific order because it's like, okay,
the last one that fires
the last one
more...
like doubles or it does something better, and I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, 6 out of 10. Not my favorite, but oh boy, from here on out, they get pretty cool. All right, so you're number 9.
All right, my number 9 was one I was really excited to play out of the core box, and it was my first one I actually tried, and I liked it at that point because it was a new game, new to the game, new to all that stuff. But then the more I got to play her, she kind of fell off a little bit, just kind of, and that's She-Hulk.
Okay.
Like I said, I still like playing her. It's just I like these other ones more. She has her abilities and stuff. There's a lot of alter ego abilities with her, like more than most people. Like her alter ego abilities, and there's a lot of thwarting.
Yeah.
As a hero, she's
a lawyer.
Right.
Yeah.
As a hero, she's not going to be thwarting much at all. Really low thwart. She has really high hit points. That's her big thing.
Yeah.
She starts out with 15 natural hit points.
Oh man, that was so nice.
Yeah. But her alter ego ability was where you would thwart a lot. She has her power turns. Just like every hero is going to have their power turn. However it
like
sets up.
Something
whatever.
special about them. That
with her though, it just seemed kind of, I don't know. Her powerful card was made powerful by her being hurt. like I can't remember what they call it, the big
big slam. Yeah.
You know, it was X, and X is how much damage she has.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so which goes good. I mean, you can set it up nicely if she has 12.
Right.
You know, or
12,
whatever.
she has 3 health left, and it's just like boom, here's a 12,
Right.
12 damage.
Now, like I said, this is going from the original setup. Now, she gets really good if you use different aspects with her too.
Sure.
She's still good. I mean, she can still win a lot of the stuff that she does.
Yeah.
But just with me, it's just like,
right.
You know, I like to. I mean, and there's stuff she has in her deck. Obviously, most of them do is setting up board presence, setting up stuff. Well, one of her coolest things in her deck, I believe it's her, is the Hellcat. Is that? I think that might be the one of the minions,
one of the allies
in there, and that one, she's a badass.
Yeah,
I really like Hellcat, but
it's also like She-Hulk's ability is whenever you she kind of doesn't have a hero ability either, because it's only when you turn into her she deals 2 damage to someone,
right.
And that's it. So she doesn't have a lot of ability combos like some of the other ones. A lot of the other ones have. So that's interesting, though, that she would actually be your least favorite. I assumed it was Black Panther. Well, you're just like, my problem with him.
It's going to make sense as we go down the list. Why? Just because of how you need to get out of there. You'll just see. I mean, it'll make sense more as we go. Cool. I gave her a 6.5.
Okay.
You know, like I said, she's good if you just want to go out. She's actually a really good first deck to try. Think? I think. I mean, fairly straightforward.
Yeah, that's true.
It really will show you how thwarting.
I mean, man, honestly,
there really isn't.
There isn't a complicated deck here.
I'll tell you, the most complicated I think out of the deal is probably Iron Man.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that's because his hero hand size starts with 1. And then as the more upgrades, then he becomes a badass.
Yeah,
late game, he's like
Iron Man starting out just blows.
So he would be hard to play as a first time player, but I think She-Hulk is more just straightforward. You're just gonna go out slam, or Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's pretty straightforward too.
But yeah, anyway,
cool.
That's my number 9.
All right, my number 8 was one that I remember when we were talking about it. I was like, "You're like, oh man, that's a really fun deck to play," and I was like, "Oh, cool, I'm excited." And it was okay. Like and here's the thing is, with this game, and a lot of games, in all honesty, I feel like you're going to have more fun depending on how much you know about the hero, too, because you're going to kind of be able to thematically immerse yourself more.
Right.
And this one, I don't know shit about, and that's Miss Marvel. She was actually the very last deck I played, because I ran through all of these to prep for this hero ranking. She was the very last one, and I kept putting her off because I wanted to play the ones that I knew, and so I was looking through her deck, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so she's a teenager, like, made me really think of a Shazam, but girl version. But she's like, because I was like, because you have Miss Marvel, then you also have Captain Marvel, and I was like, aren't those the same? No, not at all. But her deck is, I mean, she's pretty cool. She has, like, repeat abilities, so whenever you have, because she actually really doesn't have a whole lot of, like, attack or thwarting. But what she does have are, like, both of them. Like, she has certain cards, like Big Hands is one where it just deals 4 damage, and that's not nothing. But her hero ability allows her to bring it back. When she plays an event, you can pop it back into your hand.
That is her biggest.
And that's really cool. And a lot of her upgrades...
That's with anybody. That can be with other people too.
Oh, okay. Well,
if they
I haven't played with other people.
Right.
I've only played all of these solo.
Right.
But yeah, so you have that. Then you also have, like, a lot of her upgrades are, okay, well, if you play an attack that deals damage, tap this, or exhaust. Exhaust this, and then add 2 more damage. And there's another one exactly for... Yeah.
That's that one.
And then you have another one that's, it's the same thing for thwart. Mm-hmm. Like a sneak up, remove thwart, and then tap this to be able to remove an additional 2 thwart. So, she has good combinations, and I'm trying to think. Her allies weren't really that great. I'm trying to think of what there was a boy, and I don't remember his name was, but he was
like red... something.
I know all these names. It's like I played all of them in a row.
Red Dagger, I think, is his name.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds about right. Yeah. And I was like, man, I don't think I'm ever gonna get you out. And she has another one where it's like, if he would, no, it was him. If he were to be discarded, you can get rid of 2 cards of different resource costs and put it back in your hand. I'm like, yeah, you don't really seem that worth it. So yeah, I mean, she was okay. Like, I gave her a 7 out of 10. She's above Black Panther because I don't need specific cards to be able to play her. But she is more effective if you're able to tap her, bring those things in, make those cards cheaper as well to also make them free. So you can just do them over and over. What would make her really good, though, is if you had more ways to ready her. So you can play a card, tap her, bring it back, play it, and then, or like ready her, play it, and then just do it kind of more times than one. But and I'm sure there's a card combo out there that's for that. But her initial deck doesn't have it. But yeah, I still think she was pretty fun. I just don't know anything about her. That's kind of why she's also on the lower end. The rest of them I know almost, well, not everything about. I'm not a comic book connoisseur at all. My extension is what I've heard from friends who read comic books and the MCU, which is, I know, different than the actual comic books. But yeah, so that's my number 8, Miss Marvel.
All right. My number 8 is our first crossover, and it's Black Panther. Like I said earlier, that I like board building. So yeah, I really wanted this one to go off, but just not having the alter ego ability other than the initial setup and stuff just kind of hurt it for me. Plus, my success rate with them isn't as good as.
No, I think I lost also in my run through against Rhino with him, and then I lost against Wrecking Crew. Miss Marvel also came pretty close to losing because she doesn't have a whole lot of damage or Thor output.
Well, his hit points is lower.
It is.
It's like 9 or 10.
I think so.
But
he has Retaliate 1 when he's in Black Panther mode.
So really, there's not much more to say. I put him as a 7.5.
Wow.
Just
a lot more generous than I
was.
Well,
just because of board building, because I love being able to build out my stuff, and that was.
It's funny. The more how I the ones that I really liked, I could only attribute really to how I like to play Magic. And the worst thing in Magic is if you have a board presence and you can't do shit, and that's what Black Panther reminds me of.
Right.
I'm sure he has. I feel like it did better though because his starter deck is with Protection, I believe. And then when I recorded with him, I did Leadership. And I felt like he did better there. I feel like he'd also be really good with Aggression.
He could be. Like some of these guys, that's why a lot of times I'll play with 2 heroes when I play solo. It's when I mess around with that kind of stuff. Because some of them, Leadership is a hard one to play just one hero.
That is true, yeah.
Because it's so much, but I like to try it out just to try with stuff. So, but yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he's my number 8.
All right.
Black Panther.
My number 7, and this is how we know that they're pretty good, because from here on out, Black Panther and Miss Marvel were pretty easy to kind of put at 9 and 8. From 7 to 1, it was very, very difficult in how to order these. And they're all very, very closely related in their scale of 1 to 10. All right, so my number 7, which I know is going to be higher on your list, is Iron Man. And like I was saying, Iron Man is really, really, really cool. And when you said he was going to be the more complex, and he pretty much is, because you have to get him going. Like, he is virtually useless if he does not have his suit. Now, out of a lot of these, he's probably one of the most thematic, which actually that's something we haven't really talked about, is theming of decks.
I think most of them are.
I think they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Now, is the game thematic? That's debatable, but it's definitely way more thematic than Marvel Legendary. I can tell you that much. But so Iron Man is really cool because once you get his suit out, you also have a lot of variety depending on what pieces of his armor you get out that's going to affect you. Like when I was playing him, the first piece of his suit was the one that gave me 5 extra hit points or 6 extra hit points, so it went up to 15. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, 15 hit points, so I can weather a lot more to be able to slowly get his other stuff out. What's also kind of cool with him is that you do more if you get, like, his rocket thrusters, so you can get the aerial trait. Because then, like, a lot of his other abilities are like, okay, boom, deal more damage if you have the aerial trait, which is still pretty cool.
And the majority of his stuff are unique, except for the rocket boots and the gauntlets.
Yeah.
You can have multiples of those.
Yep.
But I guess his hero ability, I don't think you said, is he starts out with 1 hand size.
Yeah.
But the more upgrades he has,
the more
it's +1 up to 7 hand size.
Yeah, so if you can get his whole suit out, then you'll have a super big hand size, which is awesome. But his other ability, like his alter ego ability, is what, draw 3 cards and keep 1? Yeah, and I think that's really good. Like
run it through.
Card draw is like a huge thing with me, because when you play Magic a lot, if you're drawing cards, you're doing you're gonna do well. So being able to like filter through your deck a little bit quicker than some of the other heroes is really good. Let's see, I have for his versatile upgrade cards. Yeah, he's probably one of the most unique in terms of gameplay out of everyone. And then like the ease of use with upgrades was big for me, because once you get them out, you just have them. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna do all this stuff and be a badass. Yeah. But he's a slow burn. Like he's 1 attack, 1 thwart, and 1 hand size.
You just have
and 1 defense.
You just have to push.
Yeah,
hard to get the suit set up.
Right. And so if you if you're going up against a villain or even the Wrecking Crew who can do a lot, like you might be struggling at the very beginning, but once you get the suit, then you're gonna go off. So yeah, I give him an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed him quite a bit.
One of the other upgrades of his that is, along with the hit points one as being equally as good, if not a little bit better, was the arc reactor. Is that the one that readies them? So you can use Iron Man multiple times. You can use them to thwart and then attack, or you can thwart twice.
Yeah.
He can really adjust stuff.
I mean, and that's the thing. He has so many different components to his suit. Have you ever gotten everything out? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I didn't get it. I killed them before I can get everything out.
This is my most played hero of all of them.
Okay. I thought he was. Yeah. But yeah, like I still had a lot of fun with him. Like really, from this point on, 7 and up, these are the heroes that I'm gonna want to go out of my way to play. Black Panther, Miss Marvel, it's like no, not really. Like Black Panther, just because I don't really like his deck, and Miss Marvel because I don't care about her.
I try. Whenever a new scenario pack comes out with a bad guy, I go through everybody with them.
Yeah.
Just like I just did with Black Widow recently. And finished up playing people, but
yeah. So that's my number 7, Iron Man.
All right, my number 7 is one I thought would be higher, and he's fun. I just didn't. When you're looking at everything else, and that's Thor.
Okay.
Actually, what did you rank?
Iron Man 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay. So my Thor, he has a lot of awesome abilities, especially you get his helmet on, do all that stuff. He's unique because I always wondered when I heard the Thor pack was coming out, I was like, okay, Thor's his hero, but what is his alter ego?
Yeah, right.
I was like, Thor is Thor.
Yeah, right.
But they managed to do a good job with that. He has a lot of, I can't remember the name of the car, Thunder something or Lightning Sun, I can't remember, but where it hits everything on the board. That's an awesome one, especially when you're getting swarmed with minions and all that stuff. His Odinson, his alter ego ability is you start with the hammer.
Yep,
right off the bat. But he also has an alter ego passive ability as well,
right?
Which makes him better than Black Panther right there, because you're going to see that with Captain America too.
And I think
he starts with the shield, but he also has.
I think out of everyone, he has the most hit points, or he's tied with She-Hulk.
He has 15.
15. Yeah, so he might be tied with
Iron Man can get up to 17 once he has everything.
Well, once
else.
he has everything right, but off the gate, like he has the most.
So, and I don't know why he's this low. I mean, He's awesome.
Like I'm saying, dude, from this point on, it's hard. They're all good.
I really like playing these other ones, and so.
Well, Mjolnir. Well, Thor was probably because he is such a heavy hitter where he has two downsides. One is his hand size. Mm-hmm. Like I think he's low in Odin's son, and he's definitely low as Thor.
Right.
So that's difficult to manage, especially whenever you have to use cards to pay for other cards. When you're in hero form, you're just like, I can do one thing. And then his other downside is he's very minion heavy. Mm-hmm. And so going up against Wrecking Crew was that they don't have a lot of minions. They have like maybe 2 in each of their individual decks. So it's like he'd be really good in a multiplayer game because against a villain that has a lot of minions, because then he can actually just pull people towards him.
Right.
But he does get card draw. That's the thing. In hero mode, if he engages minion, you draw 2 cards. And it's like, great.
Yeah. Like I said, he's good. I like these other ones better. Cool. I ended up giving him a 7.
7?
I actually put Black Panther a little bit higher than him just because of more of a board building. Because that's the thing. But other than that, I mean, it's good stuff.
Cool. My number 6 is actually technically he was the first hero I played because that's what the game recommended you do, and that is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is...
This is my number 6 as well.
Okay, great.
So we can...
Yeah. Spider-Man I think he's a blast.
Yeah, he's fun.
Like, he is... like, the reason why I put him over Iron Man is he's quicker, he's more resilient, he deals a shit ton... He's like all around. In all honesty, he should be number 1 for terms of just... He can do everything.
Mm-hmm. Low hit points, those is his only...
He does have low hit points, but he has so many cards that are just like, dodge, backflip, okay, not taking any damage. He has high ways of thwart. He has multiple ways to heal. Like with Aunt May, you come in and it's just like, oh, okay, great. She just heals me for like an extra 2.
Right.
He's right there in the middle of the cover. So it's like, it almost felt like that they wanted him to be the centerpiece because even the starting game is like him and Rhino. Which it's like, you really think about it, it's like, okay, let's get She-Hulk to fight Rhino. It's like, maybe Rhino's badass. I don't know.
I only play him on the expert level now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't play, like if I ever play him, I play that.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, Spider-Man is one of the most versatile heroes in this thing. Like, he also gets a lot of allies. So that also protects from his low hit points. They can just like, they can protect him in that.
He has a high defense too, so if you have to tap him for defense, he has a 3 defense, which I think is the highest.
Yep.
It's just kind of. I put him at this low. I put my notes where he hits hard. But he has
like that swinging kick, which is 8 damage.
Yeah, but he has no board presence hardly at all.
No, he has very few gadgets.
It's all. Stuff out of hand, like actions,
a lot of events,
hero actions and stuff like that, which is good, but that's not that's my favorite style to play, so that's why,
Yeah, he, I don't know, man, because, like, even then he also he does have a few gadgets, which are essentially used to make things cheaper for him, which I also like, because he can get a lot of free or really cheap cards. But also, he has ways to stun enemies, like enemies and villains. So, yeah, he's just all around that I like, honestly, like, I could have put him I couldn't put him any higher than 5 just because I like the other guys way better. But yeah, I gave him an 8 out of 10 too.
I gave him 7.5.
Yeah, it was hard for me to actually pick him or Iron Man, because once you do get Iron Man going, then he is a lot of fun. But I think Spider-Man is just quicker. Like, when I was doing Wrecking Crew, Spider-Man just destroyed them. Like, I had no problem with them.
One of my favorite cards out of his deck, because it reminded me of a Netrunner thing, was his web shooter.
Yeah.
When you put it down, you get to put the tokens on it, and you can use those tokens as a wild resource.
Yep.
I mean, that's gold.
It is so nice, because you can have 2 of them, too.
Right. So, I mean, that's an awesome card for him. That's one of the board setup cards that he has.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the second one I played, because She-Hulk was my first one that I played. But
okay.
But yeah.
Awesome.
He's a good one.
So yeah, that was your number 6 as well. So then
over.
we'll just go straight to me for 5, which is our third crossover, which is Thor. You didn't say it with me.
I was looking at my list trying to figure out if it's She-Hulk or...
No, it's Thor. Thor, I think, just did... Because like the one thing that you missed about his whole gimmick is Mjolnir. Like, he starts with it, but you can do so much if you have it. Like, one, I think it gives you the aerial trait. And you also can play cards that lets you throw it, and you have to you have to put it back in your hand to be able to deal a bunch of damage. Yeah, like I liked his card draw. Even though I didn't personally really experience it against Wrecking Crew, I can see the appeal if you're playing against someone who uses a lot of minions, because he will just shred through them. A lot of his allies, Lady Sif and Valkyrie, are extremely handy as well. They're high health, and then also I think Lady Sif, she was a 4 cost, so she was pretty high. But I believe if she comes out, she readies Thor, which is also really good considering how powerful he is. I have, let's see, he deals lots of health. He has high damage, like lot of damage. Like it's disgusting. He just almost, like, I'm pretty sure him in like 1 or 2 hits wiped out one of the guys in the Wrecking Crew, like almost immediately. And I'm like, I like this guy. So yeah, like he I don't know, he did it for me. But then once again, I ranked him 8 out of 10. Like him, Iron Man, and Spider-Man are all the same ranking, but I don't know. Thor was also, because usually with heavy hitters, you do have to do that build up. Like if you were doing running a mono green deck in Magic, it's usually that big build up for a lot of damage at once. But I felt like he was quicker. Like you were able to pull him off without the unnecessary setup of Black Panther or Iron Man to get that high damage output. But once again, he does have a few downsides, but I think he's compensated well with the card draw that they actually gave him, instead of just him always having low cards. Right. There are ways to compensate for it. So I don't know. He was really good. So that's my number 5.
All right, my number 5 is another crossover. That's Miss Marvel.
Okay.
I put her as a 7.5. I like, her ability with the events and being able to throw the events around, because her events, there's some high defense, that's true, all that stuff, and then high attack. Compare that with the fact of the possibility of using it with other players, which I know.
Oh, right.
Going with, or with if you're playing with 2 heroes at once or whatever. I love Embiggen. That's probably my favorite card to put down, because if you get the right attack off, then you can just
deal more damage.
Yeah. She's just versatile. I think that's why I like it. Versatility in a lot of these heroes, because of how different the villains are,
right,
is good.
Yeah.
Just like we would say, how Black Panther struggled against the Wrecking Crew, but he does fine with some other ones, like she can kind of handle
I can see
wider
that.
range.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Of stuff. That's the only reason I have her up above Spider-Man a little bit. She has a little bit more of a board presence. Plus, I kind of enjoyed playing her because I don't know that much about her too.
Right.
So it's somebody
that's
different.
True. That is definitely true. It is someone completely different. So, I mean, I like that this game is bringing in other heroes that that usually aren't ever touched. Like, you obviously have your now they're getting kind of main staples, like Doctor Strange is about to come out, and Black Widow just came out. Hulk
will be next, but then we're getting Spider-Woman and Hawkeye.
Oh yeah,
will be the ones
in the actual Red Skull set.
Yeah. So
that's kind of cool.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, that's my number 5, Miss Marvel. Got a 7.5 out of her.
Cool.
About the same as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
my number 4 is actually one of my favorite heroes just in Marvel in general, and I don't know why. Like, he's really kind of one note, but you would think that I don't know, I like him, and that's Captain America.
That's mine too.
You're number 4. Great, all right. Yeah. So Captain America was one that I was really excited to get, and he ended up living up to kind of the. Now I wouldn't necessarily say the hype, but he really fits well in this kind of game, and because he is also extremely versatile. So whenever you're playing as Captain America, one, he has ways to attack multiple enemies, like with his shield
toss. Yeah,
his shield toss, so you can just bounce and deal damage to a bunch of enemies. He has ways to make his big thing is the Avengers. Like, if they have the Avenger keyword, he has cards that, like, everyone with Avengers deal more thwart or more attack. Like, you can get people with Avengers with allies back out onto your field. So, like what you're talking about with board presence, he also has, but mainly with allies, not necessarily upgrades.
Right. Well, and I put him out because he has the ally reduction.
Yep, that's what it was.
So to make things cheap, allies cheaper, and that would work for anybody. Once per round, he can do that. So it's like, he can. Because allies are pretty damn expensive. Like,
they are. Yeah.
I don't know what about you, but I don't put out. Oh God, I just forgot his name. The Samuel L. Jackson character in
Nick Fury.
Yeah, Nick Fury.
I've got him out once.
I don't put him out hardly because he costs
4.
But then he's gone at the
end of the round. So you get his initial ability, which is good. You either remove 3 thwart, draw 2 cards, or deal 4 damage, and then you can still defend or attack with him. But then he's like, 4, all right, well, fuck you guys, I'm out of here.
4 is so much for minions, especially the minions that whenever they do something, have the collateral damage and end up taking themselves off the board in a few turns.
Yeah.
So it's like...
That's why I think if you can get Nick Fury out and, like, capitalize on him, because if you can find ways to, like, attack and maybe untap him and attack again, I mean, because normally you might be more hesitant with some other allies because they might stick around or try to, and you want to keep them. Because it's like, well, if they attack or thwart, they're going to hurt themselves. And it's like, oh, man, do I want to do that? With him, you're just like, oh, no, dude, go. By all means, you're going to be gone in a second anyway. But you're right, he is 4. So Captain America has that ability to make allies cheaper, and also with allies' ability to take hits for you, or if you're like, well, I want to do this with my hero, I'll have them thwart and deal with the other stuff. He was awesome. He had ways to actually do card draw, which was great. He had big attacks, not like big swinging attacks like Thor does, but like he does some damage. So he's kind of like. He's like that perfect balance between Spider-Man and Thor for me, where he was extremely versatile in card draw, damage, thwart, and like defense. But he also like did the allies thing, which centered around the Avengers because he was like the leader of the Avengers. Right. So that's pretty cool.
He is my second highest rated
out of 10.
Deck out of 10.
Okay.
Even though he's my number 4.
Right.
Because I put him in 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, that's pretty close to mine. He's at a 9 for me.
The thing that I added, I put the shield toss, ally reduction, but I also put kind of vanilla. And and what I mean by that is
it's Captain America.
Well, no, it's because like when he came out, like he's powerful.
Yeah.
So like he was just. Everybody just played him. Like if you get on there, it's like because he was so successful.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes I wanted more of a challenge because he was kind of just shredding people.
He's so good, yeah,
like crazy. So that's why I kind of put him down because he was almost too easy to beat. He's almost
too good,
right? And that's why I'm kind of fear with the Doctor Strange. Other than Doctor Strange is gonna have a ton of stuff on the table,
right?
So
that's true. It's like you think like. Because if you in terms of balance, it's like, okay, so if Captain America is this good against all these people, well, like you said, Doctor Strange, it's like how is Rhino or Claw going to compete against Doctor Strange? They can't.
Well, unless you jack up, like I said with Rhino and with Claw, I jack up the difficulty.
The difficulty.
To the expert and to the stuff.
And is it actually like an upgrade?
It makes it harder.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because it adds a lot more,
health. like health. And
it's just you get more. There's more event stuff goes in there.
Okay.
There's more. It just makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, because I haven't fought any of them in expert, so
yeah. It's just a way to kind of make things a little more challenging.
Well, right.
You know,
because they're gonna have to scale up and balance to scale up almost for everything. You'd think, but yeah, like Captain America, just he's awesome. He's a really good expansion. So that's my. Oh wait, so that was both our number 4s.
Yep.
My number 3 might also be your number 3, and it is the newest hero that just came out, and she was fantastic, and that is Black Widow.
Yep, that's my favorite.
Okay. So pretty much, there's a theme going on. She, probably besides Iron Man, has one of the biggest board presence. With
preparation,
a lot of her preparation cards, and oh man, was she so much fun! Like, because initially, like I was saying, a lot of these games heroes are kind of centered around getting stuff out on the table and then comboing off with them. But I feel like her, honestly, even more than Iron Man, she does it the best, and because like a lot of her preparation cards comboed off with other preparation cards, and so you had this chain reaction of combos that would just shred anything you're up against.
That's kind of what I had 2 notes on her. I was like, tempo to big damage turn.
Yep.
And then in all caps, efficiency.
Yeah.
Because her ability, her hero or alter ego, I can't remember which one, is that when you play a preparation, then something happens, and then when you play a preparation, then this could happen, and that could happen, and all that crap, and then she has Dance with Death that just fucks everybody up. It's just like, there's just so much cool stuff.
She was so much fun.
She's 9 hit points, but she'll
probably kill everything before you ever take damage. Yeah. Like, the other thing I really, really liked about her is she made cheap cards essentially free. Like you mentioned, efficiency, that's a really good word, because this is like boom, boom, boom. Like, if you can make anything free, you're gonna have a fun time. I put preparation cards combo off, like I just mentioned, and then also she had a lot of like threat and like encounter card mitigation, where it's just like, okay, if this encounter card comes out, you can reduce the boost effect, or reduce the get rid of the win reveal.
One of her cards just flat out is subtract, take away 4, or do +4 thwart.
Yeah.
Just get rid of,
Yeah, so she's just all, like, I mentioned Captain America was all around. You like you said, kind of vanilla, where he's so good. Black Widow, because she was actually the first one, when I started playing these again to rank these, she was the first one I played, and I was like, is she really good? Or it's been a while it's actually been a while since I've played this. And so I was like, all right, yeah, I just got her in. Let's go ahead and just give it a shot. And man, she was so much fun. Like, in all reality, she was very, very difficult to even put at 3, just because the other 2 above her are, in my opinion, just really, really good. But she really could have been number 2, but like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, she was awesome. So
yeah, I put her as an 8.
She's at a 9 for me.
Yeah. Just because I need to play her more. She's obviously the newest one. I put it on the table as much as the others.
Because it'll be interesting to see how well she does against like Ultron, who you mentioned has a ton of minions. It's like, is she just good? Is she efficient against one person, or she? But I mean,
she's pretty solid against all of them, because when she does with when there's a lot of minions on there, that Dance with Death is a big part, because it attacks everything. Yeah, including the villain.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of she can handle it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, my number 2 is it will not be a crossover. It's your number 9. I was surprised at how low you actually put it, and that's She-Hulk. I thought your number 9 was going to be like Black Panther or Miss Marvel, with like agreeing with me. I'm so shocked that She-Hulk was your least favorite to play against. She, in my opinion, she had so much going for her. One, she has a bunch of AoE attacks, where it's like, just do this and deal damage to everyone there. So that I really liked. She also had, you're going to hear it again, card draw. Many ways to actually draw cards into her hand. Extremely high damage, which makes sense because it's She-Hulk. And you did talk about this one was threat removal. Like, and I think this ranking might be different had I fought something else. Like, like if I did all these against Ultron, and how they played against him would probably be different. But the threat removal was so advantageous because in Wrecking Crew, you have a main scheme, which if it hits 6, you lose. But as soon as you place a scheme on there, or a threat on there, then you add one to each of the other 4. So there's 4 side schemes out. And if those hit 10, like if there's 10 threat on those, then they have each individual pop-offs. One, discard 10 cards from your deck, stun every character you control, deal 2 damage to every character you control, and the 4th one, I can't remember. So with She-Hulk being able to consistently remove threat, none of them were a problem.
Right. And
the fact for quick damage whenever you turn into her, because like for her, there's some of these heroes that I'll play where I'm hardly ever an alter ego. I only move to them if like I need to draw more cards because they're gonna heal.
Yeah.
But some of these, it's like, I never really need to heal. Like, I have 15 health. She also had 15 health, so it's like, okay, well, I don't really need to move to her. But I don't remember where I was going with that. But with her, it's like the fact where you go back into She-Hulk mode, then it's like, boom, 2 damage. And that's just, that can either kill a minion, or it just can just whittle them down every now and then. I really, really liked She-Hulk. Which was surprising.
Well, and I like her too. I don't detest any of these.
I the more talk about it, I kind of detest Black Panther.
But
you're right. The way you want to play, I don't think she has any upgrades.
Right.
Maybe like 1.
Right. Well, and then knowing what Hulk is going to be like.
That's gonna be. She also has Hulk as an ally.
Right.
And he's disgusting.
Hulk can't. I think what I'm going to like more with him than her is because he has the downside to his ultra power.
Oh, right.
Like when he's in hero mode, that's when your hands, you have to get rid of your hand.
That's right.
Yeah. Like if she would have had something like that, that would have made her an interest. Like, yeah, she's She-Hulk. She can go out and just hit shit.
Yeah.
But then something needs,
right.
Hulk is like hurting it everything.
Right, and that's the thing about She-Hulk, from my understanding, is that she has a lot of the abilities and powers of Hulk, but she's smart before Hulk becomes, actual smart, the combination. But like, so she was always an interesting character in the comic books. About her. I know very, very little. I just said the extent of my knowledge is that I know she's not as strong as Hulk, or not even close, but like, she's still gonna fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And you definitely get that presence. But yeah, like even then, I think Hulk is gonna have some. He's probably gonna be disgusting too. Like,
yeah, I can't wait to play him just because of that unique, hero. You just get done with your cards.
Yep.
Which is gonna be interesting because I don't know how you play this game, but every turn, I get rid of as many cards as I can.
Really? See, I try not to do that.
Yeah, I'm like.
Because I think that because it's like if you're out of it comes to my Magic playing, which like if you're top decking, I know you don't do that in this because you almost, I think the lowest hand size is 4, so you're at least gonna get 4 cards. But I try to get combos, so she's like, well, man, I kind of want to get this ally out because they're really good. I'm gonna see if I can get some strength or energy or whatever to make it not as bad. But yeah, She-Hulk I gave a 9.5. I thoroughly enjoyed her. So yeah, that's my number 2.
All right, my number 2 I now know is your number 1.
Okay. How do you know?
Is Captain Marvel.
Gotcha.
Captain Marvel is just a badass. She has the single biggest power turn in the game where she can just, if you get the right cards, the right time, you can throw, I don't know how much, 20-some damage out there. I can't remember what the...
I think if you maxed it, Because you're talking about the it's like the energy ball, right? The spirit ball from Dragon Ball Z, where it's like if you discard for each energy resource you discard, you deal like 2 damage per.
Well, she has those cards that have like 3 energy resources and stuff. It's ridiculous.
I think I think there's a max on that card though. I think it's max of 10, but there's 2 of them in the deck. So if you have both of them out, and I guess if you get rid of. You can probably get up to 20.
There's a magical number. I can't remember what it was. I've pulled it off once.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get the right hand of stuff, you can just obliterate everything. You know, she's got the aerial stuff going on. You know, she just, I don't know. I mean, she just is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you pair her up because when you have all those energy cards, those cards that are just pure energy, I can't remember what they're called, that have the 3 resources, and then you have, when you have your neutral cards in the deck, that those ones that are one per of the, you know, energy, wisdom, and strength or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a lot of shit.
Oh yeah. Like the generic where it's like two of each, energy, strength, and yeah, you're right. What is the third one?
I can't think.
Right.
There's wisdom, energy, and strength, I believe.
Something like that.
But anyway, she is just nuts with that, and then she also is really good being used with all the different aspects, which I know isn't going into this, but because she has a strong 15 cards.
Right.
Just her
just her deck.
She can really be versatile
with all the other like the protection and stuff like that. Yeah.
I like it when you play her with 2 heroes and you have her running that and then my number 1 running together. It's just ridiculous because she's aggressive at the beginning, and then it gives my other one time to set up.
That's true.
And then they both just
wreck. Yeah.
But yeah, Captain Marvel is just a badass. And that's one if the movie wouldn't have, because I didn't know anything about the character until the movie came out. So
she was one of the last ones I tried, because like I was attributing to the movies, and I was like, when I was playing these, I was also listening to their soundtracks. The only one who didn't have one was Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, but I just listened to the Incredible Hulk one, so Miss Marvel didn't have one. But Captain Marvel, God, that movie's so bad. Like, I did not like it at all. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's my number 1. There's no hiding. What do you rank her? 8.
Which like Captain America was 8.5. She was 8. Like, I didn't go like really high. And, you know, my number 1 is a 9. That's the highest I ranked any of them.
Well, Captain Marvel's a 10 out of 10 for me. She hit you know, every you know, nail on the head. She was so surprising at how good she is, both in alter ego like mode and in hero mode. Like, because I mean, that's the thing, is whenever it comes to this game, you do have, of course, the balance with the alter ego and then your hero. So you want them both to be efficient and beneficial on both sides, and when one of them's not, you almost feel like you're playing half a character. And she was just so good. Like, I have I have massive attacks, like the special use of her energy resources, durable, and I mean, she also has card draw, which, as with a lot of these, if you can card draw, like, because like, I think if you're using cards, because that just makes your turns that much longer, therefore you're doing more. If you can be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, which is gonna allow me to draw this, and then, because I think it was her, where it's like, okay, if you do this and then draw a card, okay, then do this, draw a card. Like, if she does this, draw a card, and it's just like you're just constantly doing that, and you're like, oh great, now I'm gonna do this one big attack and get rid of 9 energy resources, and I killed everyone.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say as well with her is, I mean, that's what's cool about this game is. There's a lot of games like when you draw a card, it's like, oh, that's, I was hoping for something else, I can't use it. Well, every card can be used as a resource,
right?
So I mean, it's like, that's just more currency to pay for more stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You're drawing stuff too, so it was a good engine.
It is a good engine. Yeah, you're right, because there's times where I was wanting to do something. It's like, well, I'll do this first because it'll let me draw a card. I don't really give a fuck what it is. I'll just use it as. So now, and then if you can get some cards out that you tap to generate a resource, where it's like now those cards that cost 4, that's not too bad. Because now I have this extra card that I didn't initially have, so that's a resource. To tap that's a resource, and I have this thing for 2, and boom. I only really had to use 1 card out of my initial hand to make things cheaper. And with her ability to, because like some of these where I was mentioning card draw, they needed like a specific card to do it, and hers was more triggered abilities. Do this, draw a card, and I think her it's either her alter ego or it's her hero one where you exhaust her, heal 1, and draw a card. I think it's her alter ego.
Alter ego, I think, yeah, that sounds right.
And that's so nice. Like, it's like, okay, well, I'll take a few hits from these people, and then I'll just, exhaust her just to heal 1, and then draw a card. Fantastic. She was so much fun to play. I was honestly surprised that she was my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, she's a good one for sure.
All right, so tell me why you like Iron Man so much.
All right,
he's at my 7.
I rated him a number as 9 out of 10. It's board presence.
Yeah.
My favorite decks in Netrunner were getting a lot of hardware and a lot of stuff out, and then being able to use those to do stuff. Because unlike Black Panther, like every one of his upgrades he gets out,
actually
tap and can do stuff.
Yeah.
When he's maxed out, he'll have the most hit points of anybody. He'll have 17 hit points if you get everything out.
It's his helmet? No, I know it's his chest piece that adds 6.
It's the rocket boots at 1 per.
Oh, okay.
That's where you get the extra. So, and then I like his Pepper Potts.
Oh yeah, she was good.
When she gets out there, her ability when you use her is you get to resources of the top card in your discard pile. So if you use his ability, which is draw 3, pick 1, you can choose how you put him up there.
That's true.
And then you can use her to get the resources. Yeah, there's a huge resource
that's true.
Because it's expensive to get the suit out.
It is, yeah.
And then also when you get Stark Tower out, Stark Tower lets you retrieve the top most suit piece gear out of the discard pile into your hand.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, like, with this deal, it's a race. Yeah. And that's why I like it too, because it's like, okay, he's thwarting or raising his threat, all that jazz, and I'm using his ability, drawing 3, putting 1 down. Mm-hmm. I play everything in my hand, to get as much crap out as I can, and then draw back up. Do the exact same thing next turn. If I can get Pepper Potts out and she helps with resources to get more stuff out.
Yeah.
It's a race.
True.
And then it's like, okay, once I get about 3 pieces out, it's when I can start, flipping over and start doing some stuff.
Yeah.
He's just nasty. Especially if you can get it set up right. Because once you get the suit set up, I don't puke the cards this much. Like then I start kind of gathering, because he has the repulsor, which is energy symbols.
Yeah.
When you discard the top X number of, I think, 5 cards, and for every energy resource that's in there, you do 2 damage or whatever, and you can just start blowing shit up.
Right.
He's so powerful late game. Mm-hmm. And I think it just goes with my Netrunner stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Netrunner, you'd let them. They'd be taking a big lead on you. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, I'm just going to sit back and you guys kind of do what you're doing. I'm just building up, and then by the time then you just lock them down.
Yeah.
They could be 1 point away from winning, and you just
winning the board. Yeah.
Just because you get it built.
It's almost it's kind of like, because I played Netrunner once, so I can't relate to that, but it's kind of like in Magic whenever you're just slowly doing things. Like, the best deck in Magic I've ever played is what's called a Guild Gate deck. And you essentially your lands. There's they have a subtype called Gate, and there's a card called Maze's End, which is if you have 10 gates out on the field, you win. And it's a very slow build-up deck. And whenever my friend let me borrow it to play, he's like, he had to train me to be like, the game's not over till your life points hit 0. Because normally when you're taking damage, some people can panic and they try to not take damage, and he's just like. I mean, there's a lot of counters and stuff, and a bunch that go into that amazing deck. But it's kind of like that where you're just like, okay, yep, I'm just gonna play it out, and then now my combo's off.
Right.
Which, like I said, like Iron Man, in no way, because he was at 7 out of the 9, was in no way bad.
Oh yeah.
Like he was just. The other ones just kind of fit. I like the more quicker, especially in this game, kind of the quicker, more efficient. Not saying that Iron Man's not efficient, but you still have to hope that you get Pepper Pots out or things like that. Whereas the other ones, you don't have to hope as much for very specific cards.
Well, when I'm playing a solo game like this, if you lose, you
that's
just
true.
shuffle up and go.
You just cheat and be like, I didn't lose.
No, it's like I said, it's a race. You know,
Yeah.
like and to me, the theme of his deck is so awesome because, you know, like the shit's hitting the fan, he's tinkering, building this stuff really quick, and then he goes out and saves the day, you know.
Yeah.
But really quick, I was going to say was when he has his suit out and he can use the rocket boots to go aerial, it makes all of his other pieces do extra for extra damage. Like one, you tap and it's like do 1 damage to a minion or whatever. But if you're aerial, you flip it, it's 1 damage to 3 different, or something like, you know.
I think it's
out.
It's his gauntlets.
I
think that do that,
and you can do thwart, and then the one lets you readies Iron Man again, so you can double attack.
I think there's one. It's like his defense goes up if you're aerial. Too, which
you can double thwart, double attack. I mean, you can just own the board. Once he gets built.
Yeah, once it's that's kind of where, because I was when I was ranking him, I'm like, man, he was so much fun. And I think it was the once he gets built part that kind of put him.
Well, and like I said, we rank these by fun.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest fun part for me is building the board.
Right.
You know, and making that race out of it. It's like, crap, he's doing that. I got to really push.
Right.
You know, and then he won. We'll reshuffle back up, start the game again.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's why I've played him so many times. Is because just.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that's actually another good point. Is he's the one you've played the most.
Oh yeah.
Right. I have not played this game as much as you. So to be completely fair, like a lot of these rankings are, 1, I haven't played them as much, and 2, up against Wrecking Crew. And Wrecking Crew, for all I know, might just be a really shitty scenario pack.
It's okay.
It's just kind of like, who are these people?
I would try to get.
Are these just regular guys?
Right.
I know they're not, but it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. They're annoying, really. But so if I were to be like, oh, let's try, you know, Captain Marvel against Ultron, and then he could wipe the floor and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that wasn't as fun.
But that's the beauty of the design of this game.
True.
Is if one hero could go through and mow every one of them down.
Yeah.
Then it's, you know, that you've got to kind of. It's kind of like with the Lord of the Rings card game.
Yeah.
You know, you could build that one deck, and it's going to be good against that scenario. But then that deck's going to be shit when you go, so you have to kind of rebuild your deck again to go up against that one. You know, and it's.
Which I like.
Right.
I like, because it makes it to where it's not like, okay, this is like, because in games where you're like, that's the strat, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to play this again because I figured it out.
And I've played all these heroes multiple times against all the bad guys. I would say, when I was thinking of this list, I used probably Goblin and Claw the most for my stuff. But you know, the Wrecking Crew is my least favorite of all of them. I even like Rhino Expert better than
I can see that. I like fighting Rhino more than Wrecking Crew, but I figured, there's 4 of them, they're all most likely to be doing something different, so that'll let me feel out all the different heroes. But so little odd list of us ranking, but this kind of is our catch up for me not doing individual reviews for each of these. So let us know what your favorite heroes are from this in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.